I first started out acting.
Interesting. You made a film in second session that has won Trebas' first official award in the film festival.
The process of directing it was a little bit challenging. So I wanted to highlight the whole idea of trauma and how it can affect if you do not process it correctly. So I just woke up and I checked Facebook, and that's when I saw it. I was like shocked. Just the fact that my film got selected out of a bunch of films that I've submitted, even though before I wasn't that confident, but this was just the confirmation for me.
Welcome to A Coffee with Trebas. Today with me, I have a great alumni, Nickiesha Flemmings. Nickiesha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So Nickiesha, we're here. This is our first episode, our pilot kind of. There's a couple of things I want to ask. First, let's talk about how you were before Trebas. What made you come to Trebas?
Okay, so I first started out acting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I went to the MSOPA, JOSA, and I got to learn being on set and all of that, but I wanted to get more experience in the behind the scenes, so I looked up Trebas.
Very good.
And I researched it. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. It's more hands-on as opposed to just theory, because I was contemplating going to, but I'm like, I'll just go to Trebas and get that hands-on experience. So I searched it up and I was like, okay, I think this would be a good experience for me to get both the knowledge behind and on set.
Perfect. So you made a film in second session that has won Trebas' first official award in the film festival circuit. Mm-hmm. Let's go through that slowly, that whole process. So tell me or remind me or tell the audience, one, what the story was about, and how was the process of directing in second session?
Okay, so the story that I wrote is He's Not That Special. So it's about unprocessed trauma that can affect interpersonal relationships. So I wanted to highlight the whole idea of trauma and how it can affect if you do not process it correctly or if you don't get help or seek help. So pretty much the idea of mental health that I wanted to highlight. And the process of directing it was a little bit challenging because I had to pretty much walk it through with the actors and get them in that space to...
There was how many actors in the film?
There was 5.
How many is it their first film, or were they all trained? Meaning they've worked on other projects before? They
worked on other projects. Sake, one of our actors, I believe it was his, I'm not sure if it was his first acting gig, but I do know that the other actors had a bit more experience than him.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a good experience, just walking them through it. The main actor that I spoke with, Cedric, he has a lot of experience already, so having, the background of his knowledge and everything kind of helped me.
Did they help you, guide you sometimes when you were, let's say, not sure of the direction? Did they say, well, we could do this? Did the actors help you or your vision kind of?
Yeah, definitely. The whole point of, being a director is to listen to the actors and be open to their suggestions. So if ever they felt like something was a bit off or they're not comfortable delivering the lines this way, they would offer, how about this way? And then I would say, okay, let's try it. And if I see that the performance was better, then we went with that. Yeah.
So the actors helped you. Mm-hmm. There's a question I need to ask, and I always want to ask my students to always direct some people, actors that are a bit older. Mm-hmm. Gives a different experience. You directed George Capuzis, that was almost double your age. Mm-hmm. How was that experience?
It was good, actually. Yeah, he also has experience acting, so I did learn a lot from him as far as, the feedback that he has given me regarding the direction that I was taking. And also too, he was a teacher, right, in the film, so I also wanted to, he kind of gave already that authority vibe that I was asking for, so it wasn't hard directing him.
Good.
And he was very, he listened, he took all my directions, so I appreciated that.
Perfect. So we finished making the film. We go into post-production.
Yeah.
Now, as a filmmaker, the last thing you want to do is when you see your film and you're just seeing all the mistakes. Take us through the process of when you started to believe that, hey, it's not that bad. It's going pretty good. Start it up from there. How did that go?
Okay, so editing the film, I was a bit, it was the last scene, the long take that we did. I wasn't confident about it. Like the whole the whole process of filming it was fine.
Let's explain why. Why weren't you confident about it?
Because I felt like it just jumped. Like it didn't
Jumped
go.
in the story?
Yeah, like it didn't flow. Like he was getting out of the counselor room and then he's walking and I'm trying to make it seem like he's walking for a while, but just the straight walking, it just felt very unnatural. So
Very good.
when I was editing, I wanted to make it seem like I wanted to include all the mistakes that were happening during the takes where people were walking into the actual take. So I wanted to add that to give the illusion that it's all in his head and then cut it multiple times to make it look like, okay, he was really walking a long time as opposed to just putting the direct take of...
So you took the mistakes and instead of hiding them, you actually showed them.
I showed them, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
When you wrote the script, were you even thinking that this might be an issue from going from this scene to the final? Or on paper it looks good and these are things that you learn when you're editing? Like even when we filmed it, I remember we never even thought of maybe this may be an issue. So these are the things that we kind of see in the post-production, correct?
Right. Yeah. Writing it, I didn't think of it as an issue. Filming it, neither. It's really like putting it all together and I'm like, I'm not that confident about it. But then once I tried the angle of like cutting it and adding the mistakes, it looked really good. So, and even Andrew like praised the editing part. So I felt even more confident because Andrew, like, he's tough, but yeah, I appreciate the feedback. So.
Good. So you're finishing the edit. We're polishing the trailer. We're getting the poster done. School ends. What were your aspirations with this project? Did you foresee the future with it, or did you just say it's done, let me move on to another project?
I did not foresee it going where it actually went. Like I was happy with it. I'm like, great, like I have something in my portfolio to, present when I do apply for, gigs. But I didn't expect it to go to festivals or any of those things.
So let's take it back to that day when you found out you won. Because I'm not sure if my memory is certainly correct. We got the official selection, we had posted it, and then it was maybe a month later, or was it like a couple of weeks later? I think it was a while.
Like you mean the first one, like Jamaica?
Yes, when we got
it was official selection. I think a week later we won.
Then we won later. Yeah. Okay. So take us through it. You won. You find out. First, how did you find out? And where were you? How did you react?
So I just woke up and I checked Facebook and that's when I saw it. I was like shocked. And then I was like, Jamaica, like that didn't even cross my mind that I would even think to win in the country that my family's from. So that was a big deal. And I told my family and they were all happy. So yeah, it meant a lot, honestly. I was like, this is a big deal. Yeah,
so,
definitely.
As I said before, the first official Trebas win at a festival.
Yeah.
Months later, you get selected to go into Nouveau Cinéma du Monde here in Montreal. How was that?
That was a shock. Because when I searched, because I'll be honest, before the selection, I wasn't familiar with Nouveau Cinéma. I didn't really know the magnitude of this festival until I did some research. And I was like, wow, this is a big deal. And then speaking with you, you had told me this is a big festival, this is a great opportunity. So just the fact that my film got selected out of a bunch of films that have that I've submitted, it was a big deal. So I was just like, I think that's when I got my confidence boost a little bit more. Like I was like, okay, like I'm good at what I do, even though like before I wasn't that confident, but this was just the confirmation for me that I should continue.
Perfect. take us through how was the festival. Like they did workshops. They
Yeah.
did. If you can, just let the audience know. Like take us a little through a day in the life of a selected director with their film.
Yeah, so I met a lot of producers, a lot of directors, and the workshop was actually pretty like it was very like informational. Like there was a lot to learn and uncover. A lot of what we discussed is things that I've also learned at Trebas. Like we had someone speak that came to speak because he's a colorist and he does color grading.
It was a 1-day workshop.
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, and I met script supervisors. They were talking about, you know, their job in the industry and the projects that they're doing at the moment. And I also got to meet like directors that, you know, directed films that we had to watch prior to the workshop just so that we could ask questions about it. And I did ask the director, like, did you take this, did you do this shot because of this reason? Because this is what I learned at school. And he's like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I did it. Because in one scene, the actress was like isolated from the other actors, and the way they shot it was like they had her alone in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, was this intentional? And he's like, yeah, it was definitely intentional. So I felt like I got an idea of how the creative mind of some filmmakers, and then also networking with other filmmakers that were selected and getting an idea of like what their creative process was, what school did they come from. And yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah.
And I remember that day there was filmmakers from all across Canada.
Yeah.
From Vancouver, from Alberta,
Yeah.
Calgary. It was nice.
Yeah.
Did you get contacts with those other directors? Did you share any contacts? Are you working on other projects with them, or?
Yeah, I definitely shared contact information with them. We still keep in touch. I did express wanting to work with some of them, and they have also expressed the same. And also producers as well. Like I did also, you know, get their contact information. So I'm making sure to, you know, maintain those and going forward to like work with them.
Before we wrap this up and I ask for the future, how important do you think it is for a young filmmaker, the festival circuit, to go through there? And it's not about, again, it's not about the awards, but it's the recognition, how important do you think it is for a director?
It's pretty important. Because at the end of the day, you want your work to be seen. You want your work to be out there. So, and it's also an opportunity to network. Like once your work is out there and people are seeing it, they see, okay, like I like this person's work. Like I would like to know more. I would like to see what it's like working with them. So I do think the festival run does open up opportunities to network with everyone across the globe. And it also will give you an idea of how it works too, like why it's so important to submit to festivals. At the end of the day, we're not doing it for the accolades, we're not doing it for the rewards. It's all about just having your work be seen and to tell your story through your perspective and have other people resonate with that. And I think that's important because it's art, right? It's all about bringing people together. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I got two final questions. One, Nickiesha, what's next? What's down the horizon in 2025?
Okay, so I just wrapped up, well, not just, like I wrapped up my web series like a few weeks before the festival. So that's what I'm, you know, hoping to get into production for. And also I'm in the middle of writing a
What's the name of the web series?
It's the Unconventional Dream. Yeah, and it's all about the actor's journey. And I wanted to talk about that because I know a lot of actors, they experience a lot of obstacles becoming an actor because of, you know, situations that are happening in their personal life. And then I'm also in the middle of writing a horror story, a horror thriller. And I'm trying to explore different genres because I'm more familiar with drama, but I want to branch out and like write about other genres as well. So
nice,
I'm in the middle of doing that too.
Nice,
as well.
very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
One final question. If you were to come back at Trebas to teach, what class would you like to teach?
I would say script writing.
Interesting. Good.
Yeah. I like to write, so I would say that.
Perfect. Nickiesha, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Hopefully we see you again. Thank you at Café with Trebas.